Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Raw report for the 28th of June 2021. Not the best of shows, but it's Raw. What do you expect? Literally, nearly 30 years after the show began, I don't know why it's still on the air. Yes, I do, because TV networks are convinced that a dying brand is worth investing millions of dollars into. Anyway, it's not the talent's fault; it's the writer's fault, and we open the show with um, uh, let's see, Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville announced Randy Orton couldn't compete in the triple threat match. They noticed he's not there for reasons out of his control. They announced the winner of the Battle Royal takes on Orton's place in the triple threat later in the show. Riddle ends up claimed to have a note from Orton stating Riddle should take his place. They tell that Riddle has written the letter because Riddle needs to look like a complete goof, and he agrees to enter the Battle Royal and represent Orton in the match. Riddle wins a Battle Royal. Completely useless Battle Royal, but what Battle Royal isn't. Picks up towards the end. Riddle and Priest are the last two. Why they're doing this when there's no clear heel doesn't make sense. And there is no explanation to why Orton isn't there, at least at this point in the program. Participants, Angel Garza, Mustafa Ali, R-Truth, Viking Raiders, Jeff Hardy, Shelton Benjamin, Drew Gulak, Jinder Mahal, Cedric Alexander, Carrillo, Damian Priest, Tozawa, Mansoor, and Riddle. Riddle is the only one that gets a entrance in this. Gulak's the first one eliminated. What a waste of a talented guy there. Mahal's tossed out. Benjamin tosses out Benjamin. Garza lands on one foot, so he's still in. He hops around ringside, jumps back in the ring. Garza tries to get rid of Mansoor. Ali throws him out. Garza gets thrown out, Garza gets thrown out instead of Mansoor. Ali basically takes credit for saving him, and then that good deed is not unpunished. Mahal backdrops Truth out for the next elimination. Mahal grabs Tozawa and throws him out next. Gulak then runs over and rolls off Tozawa to win the 24/7 championship in the middle of a battle royal. Truth pins Gulak to win the title, but Tozawa wins it back right away. They can't possibly care. Almost walks down to ringside, pulls the Viking Raiders out at the same time. He beats them up, makes him look strong. Back from the break, the Battle Royal comes down to the final four. Hardy, Alexander, Priest, and Riddle. Hardy goes nuts for a while and hits Twist of Fate on Alexander. Alexander throws out Hardy when he blocks the Twist of Fate. Priest takes advantage of this and catches Alexander with the Hit the Lights finish. Tosses out Alexander. Final two are Riddle and Priest. Priest then eliminates Riddle, or looks like he did, but actually Riddle recovers and goes nuts on Priest. Riddle locks in the bro mission, but Priest drops him on the apron. Riddle tries to pull out Priest, but then he fights back. Priest then ends up on the apron with Riddle in the ring. Then they fight back and forth. Riddle hits with a knee and wins the Battle Royal. Riddle demand they play Orton's music instead of his. He does Orton's pose, celebrated the win. Riddle takes on Drew McIntyre and AJ Styles in the last chance match for the Money in the Bank deal later. Riddle represents Orton, which means Orton gets the spot if Riddle wins. The recap: Shayna Baszler and Alexa Bliss's feud, to the delight of absolutely no one. Nia Jax and Reginald approach Baszler, who has a deck of cards. Jax asks if she's preparing for a match or card game. Baszler claims that cards help her relax. Nice enough to give her personality, but way too late. Reginald then tries to apologize, but Baszler knows it's Alexa Bliss's fault. She promises to beat Nikki Cross later tonight, then walks off. Bliss is standing in the background watching all of this take place. Graphic for Baszler versus Cross, but there is a banging sound in the background and more magic. They cut to show Jackson Riker hitting objects with a leather strap. Kevin Patrick interviews AJ Styles and Omos. Styles is furious. Riddle was in the match. Thought he should take on McIntyre in a singles match instead. Omos claims that he's scouting the competition. When he pulled out the Viking Raiders, they recap Raiders attacking Omos last week and Ricochet beating Styles. It's a week later and I remember neither of these things. Styles promises to win the triple threat at the Money in the Bank ladder match. In the back, Sarah interviews Nikki Cross, promises to win tonight, and has high hopes for winning at Money in the Bank. She then comes up with the name Almost a Superhero, Nikki Cross or Nikki Ash. Nikki Cross defeats Shayna Baszler with Nia Jax and Reginald in 9:50. They have a fine enough match. Good to see Cross actually being allowed to do something other than 2-minute squashes. Bliss gets involved and there's some magic involved. The announcers can't decide whether they want to have Cross's last name be Cross or Ash. Cross is in early control with a side headlock. Baszler takes over, slams Cross, and takes her down pretty hard. Baszler slows down the pace and backs her into the corner. Baszler misses a knee, and Cross sends her to the floor with a drop kick. Bliss's music hits, and she walks to ringside. He'll stand at ringside and watch as she enters. Cross then hits a crossbody from the top rope, wiping everybody out. Cross jumps back into the ring and poses for a bit. Back from the break, Baszler nails Cross with a knee for near fall. She places Cross on the top rope and locks on or locks eyes with Bliss. Cross takes advantage, hits a tornado DDT. Jax and Bliss walk towards each other at ringside. Bliss starts to hypnotize Jax, but Reginald stops her. Bliss kicks Jax, and then Reginald. Bliss walks up the ramp. Cross then rolls up Baszler for near fall. However, Baszler keeps looking over at Bliss. Cross rolls her up for the win. They recap Lashley and Xavier Woods from last week. So much recaps because we don't have the ability to write compelling television to fill 3 hours. Kofi Kingston and MVP go face to face. Both guys are really good in the segment in terms of how they interact with each other. Kingston talks about Lashley's vicious beating of Woods last week. He felt helpless because he couldn't get in the cell to help his friend. Kingston notes that Woods deserves respect, and for going into the cell with Lashley. Kingston can't get the image of Woods in pain out of his mind. He promises to make Lashley pay and beat him up at Money in the Bank to win the championship. MVP's music hit, and he comes out with Lashley's ladies. MVP laughs at Kingston for thinking that he could win the title. MVP admitting they're looking past Kingston because he's not a threat. MVP notes that Lashley enjoys his vacation but promises to destroy Kingston, and promises Lashley would make what Brock Lesnar did to Kingston seem like nothing. Maybe this is a tease for Lesnar and Lashley at some point. Anyway, Kingston claims Lashley's soft. Went to the Woods. Got close to beating Lashley last week. Kingston's not worried because he's already beaten him. MVP praises Lashley and said he deserves everything he has. Kingston argued that he's earned all of his accolades as well. Kingston's champion. He defended the title every week and takes the belt all over the world. Kingston then points out that MVP had Lashley taking vacations and hanging out with ladies. And Kingston notes that Lashley's not focused and promises to win the title. MVP walked down the ramp. He claims Kingston takes the title back to Ghana for his ego. Kingston promised would return next week because he's not like MVP. Kingston believes MVP is milking his knee injury. MVP is offended by this. He said he's not cleared because he's too hurt. Kingston jumps out of the ring and nails MVP with the Trouble in Paradise. Kingston yells at MVP he wasn't hurt before, but he is hurt now. Then they recap even Marie introducing Doudrop. Asuka and Naomi beat Marie and Doudrop after Marie tagged in. Marie tagged herself into the match. Kevin Patrick interviews Marie and Doudrop. Marie is giving Doudrop the chance to make it up to her for last week. They take on Naomi and Asuka in a rematch next. Short match. And obviously it's about the drama between Marie and Doudrop, because why would we want a wrestling show to be about wrestling? Marie orders Doudrop to hold her jacket. Naomi tries to sunset flip. Doudrop counters. Asuka then tags in and has an advantage for a short length of time. Doudrop hits a splash in the corner, but Asuka hits the Asuka lock. Doudrop breaks free and tries to make the tag, but Marie drops off the apron, and Asuka tries to roll up Doudrop, but then escapes. Follows with a senton and takes out Naomi with a shoulder tackle. Doudrop then hits a running crossbody. Splash combo for the win. Marie is shocked that Doudrop won the match. She grabs the mic and announces herself as the winner. They recap Morrison beating Randy Orton last week. Highlight of Miz using the dripstick. Then we go in the back. Sarah interviews Morrison and Miz. Morrison couldn't think of any positive things to say about the Miz. Then they did a close-up of the Miz with Sarah holding the mic. Miz notes she sees everything and nothing, or he sees everything and nothing gets past him. Camera pulls back to reveal that Ricochet switched with Schreiber holding the mic. Ricochet promised to beat Morrison in their upcoming match. He steals the dripstick and used it on the heels. Morrison is, I guess, more wastedness, I suppose. Anyway, Morrison with The Miz and Ricochet ends in a double countout in 10.5 minutes. Match was fine until the finish. Miz joins commentary during the match. Ricochet uses a slam and an elbow drop for a near fall. Morrison backs Ricochet into the corner, hits a kick to the head for a near fall. Morrison then slowed down the pace, but Ricochet recovers and sends Morrison to the floor with a drop kick. Ricochet then hits a sliding drop kick. Miz rolls and Ricochet yells at Miz to move. Miz stays in the same spot. Ricochet jumps off of Miz's wheelchair and catches Morrison with a Rana. Innovative spot there. Ricochet takes the dripstick again and uses it on the Miz. Back from the break, because we go to breaks in the middle of matches. Morrison's in control and attempts some sort of move off the second rope. Ricochet avoids it. Ricochet hits a springboard crossbody, middle rope for a near fall. And Ricochet fires up and hits a sliding clothesline for a near fall again. Morrison recovers and hits a sliding knee for a near fall. Morrison hits Starship Pain and misses Starship Pain. Ricochet takes over. Ricochet teases dive, but Morrison jumps out and over the barricade. Morrison then sets on the barricade and taunts Ricochet. Ricochet hits a springboard crossbody into Morrison over the barricade and lands on some sort of crash pad. But it looks good. They get counted out and the match means nothing. They recap the Charlotte and Ripley feud. Flair speaks with Natalya and Tamina, setting up their match. Flair notes that they all understand each other because of their legacies. All three are on the same page. Promises to make Ripley Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke pay for their, I guess you'd say, disrespectfulness, for lack of a better term. Anyway, so, man, this show feels long, even in review form. Imagine sitting through it. Earlier tonight, Ripley, Rose, and Brooks discuss their tag match. Rose notes that they look good but hit hard. They all start brawling before the match. Flair and Ripley brawl in the ring until their teammates join them. The babyfaces clear the ring. Then match starts during commercial, because why should matches matter? Tamina attempts a super kick on the floor, but Brooke catches the leg. Flair then jumps Brooke from behind and take over on Flair. Natalya and Tamina isolate Brooke on their side of the ring. Brooke rolls up Flair for near fall. Flair kicks out, sends Brooke into the corner. Ripley then got a tag and goes nuts on Flair. Flair then makes a tag to get out of the ring. Natalya then rolls up Ripley for a near fall. Ripley takes out Tamina with a drop kick, but Flair uses a chop block on Ripley. Natalya goes for sharpshooter, but Rose breaks free. Finish comes when Flair nails Rose with a boot for the win. Completely useless match, didn't need to be here and was just here to fill time. After the match, Ripley hits a chop block on Flair's knee. Ripley runs away like a heel, even though supposedly she's supposed to be a babyface. They recap a feud that no one cares about between Riker and Elias. In the back, Riker's hitting himself with a strap. Tozawa runs by him. Riker just keeps hitting himself. Truth then runs by and talks to Riker. Truth asks him why he could see him. And they also made a Brock Lesnar reference earlier, so maybe they're trying to bring back other talents. Who knows? Anyway. So Riker explains purging the pain from his body. Truth has to use the strap to get his 24/7 championship belts, and we go to the strap match that they've been plugging since last week. 3.5 minutes. Riker beats Elias. Elias promises to sever all ties with Riker in the strap match. Riker had a week to become one with the strap. What a goofy thing to say. Anyway, Elias jumps Riker, gets an early advantage. Elias drags him to the floor and then ties the strap to the post. Riker then fights back and uses the strap to send Elias into the post. Riker comes back off the second turnbuckle, but Elias then hits a jumping knee for near fall. Riker fights back and sends Elias into the corner. Riker uses the strap as a weapon and then hits a slam for the win. Damian Priest approaches Riddle and wishes him luck in his upcoming match. Riddle didn't respond and claimed he's not Riddle, he's Randy Orton. Apparently, he does body metamorphosis. Priest told Riddle that Orton's lucky to have Riddle as a friend. Riddle was touched, but then he went back to being mean Randy Orton. And this is complete goofiness. Anyway, Kevin Patrick approaches Drew McIntyre and asks if he could beat AJ Styles and Riddle in a triple threat match. McIntyre tells a story about Scottish fighting British and Irish, and then he said that this is how he saved Christmas, and Patrick believes him. This is just goofiness. McIntyre admits the story is ridiculous, and he says just like Patrick's question is ridiculous, he promises to beat Styles and Riddle and go into Money in the Bank. Last chance Money in the Bank triple threat match. McIntyre defeats Riddle and AJ Styles with almost in 26.5 minutes. Decent match. They all worked hard. Match, obviously. McIntyre fights and back and forth with Riddle and sends him across the ring with a suplex. Follows up with a suplex and a back body drop on Styles for a near fall. Styles sends McIntyre to the floor. Styles attacks his knee, and then McIntyre clears the announce table and sets up for the Celtic Cross. Styles then slips out. Riddle nails McIntyre with a knee. They fight around ringside, trading several shots. Styles sends McIntyre into the post. Styles and Riddle fight over the suplex on the floor. Riddle hits a suplex on Styles, but McIntyre catches him with a suplex as well. Styles follows up with a Pele kick on McIntyre. And then Riddle and Styles work together for just a little bit here. And then we move to a commercial break. Styles is going after Riddle's leg, slowing the pace of the match down. McIntyre is out of the match for a little bit because he went through the table. Styles catches Riddle with a Pele kick for a near fall. Styles jumps out of the ring, attacks McIntyre. Back in the ring, Riddle fights back. Styles regains control by attacking the leg. Styles then follows up with a brainbuster on Riddle for a near fall. And then he goes after McIntyre a second time. Riddle then catches Styles and enters the ring and hits a draping DDT. Riddle sets up the RKO, but Styles catches him and hits a modified, I guess you'd say, burning hammer for a near fall. McIntyre pulls Styles out of the ring, sends him into the barricade. McIntyre goes nuts and drops Riddle onto the mat. And McIntyre goes to the floor. Then Styles recovers, hits a sliding forearm on McIntyre. Riddle comes back at Styles with a knee. Then they both hit dives, McIntyre and Styles. And then McIntyre and Styles with a series of kicks to each other. Riddle attempts the penalty kick in Styles' direction, but Riddle gets nailed into the stairs. Riddle then yelled and that he broke his foot. Referees come out to help Riddle away from the ring to the back. Back from the break, McIntyre and Styles go back and forth. Riddle's out of the match because of the injury. McIntyre is finally in control, hits a neck breaker. McIntyre seems to injure his knee somewhere during this. Hopefully both of these injuries aren't real. McIntyre catches Styles' leg and hits a spine buster for near fall. Styles drops McIntyre on the top turnbuckle, takes back over. McIntyre recovers and hits the Michinoku driver for near fall. Styles locked in a calf crusher, capitalizing on the injured knee. Riddle limps back down to the ring and locks on the bro mission on Styles. Styles breaks free. Riddle nails McIntyre with a kick to the head with his bad foot, so apparently it wasn't that bad. Styles then goes for the phenomenal forearm, but Riddle counters with a knee and hits an RKO. Almost pulls Styles out of the ring. McIntyre hits a Claymore kick on Riddle for the win. McIntyre is now officially qualified for Money in the Bank, and he posed on the turnbuckle to close the show. And Xavier Woods and Bobby Lashley is in for next week. Man, that show was a slog to get through. We'll be back with more right after this.